men are often given the role of a protector, of a provider. So, do you think it makes them feel lesser or weaker and less in control when they are vulnerable?
More of a social learning that has happened where, boys don't cry or men don't feel pain. These kind of messages have been ingrained over and over again. Don't always expect this alpha macho man that, they don't allow emotions to kind of surface.
How does vulnerability, especially on part of men, help make intimacy and sexual experiences better? You know, there are times when I feel as a society we have failed one segment of the society, and I'm talking about the men. Welcome to the Pleasure Principle, where we explore the science, the soul, and sass of intimacy. Joining me is Dr. Mansi, our expert. She's a psychiatrist who's been practicing for over 10 years. And Dr. Mansi, today I want to talk about men and vulnerability in relationships. And why is it that men fail to express what they're feeling in relationships, not just with their partners, but across all relationships?
That's a wonderful, wonderful topic to take up, Jyotika. It's just so, difficult, and so many men struggle with this. A lot of it is to do with your social conditioning that has happened while growing up. So while growing up, you didn't see a lot of males express emotions, or even if somebody expressed emotions, they were quietly, very quickly shut off. That no, expressing emotions is not for men. That's equal to being feminine or weak. So I think all of these cultural conditionings have trained men to suppress their natural tendency to express emotions even when they are feeling some, actually.
So, what you're saying is this is not how men inherently are, this is a social conditioning.
Absolutely. Biologically, there isn't a very large difference in terms of, whether men will be able to express their emotions or not compared to women. So this is more of a social learning that has happened where, boys don't cry or men don't feel pain. These kind of messages have been ingrained over and over again.
Let's talk about relationships with a partner. You know, how does the fact that men feel that showing vulnerability or expressing what they're feeling makes them look weak affect a relationship with the partner?
So when I'm actually feeling that, assuming that I'm a male and I say that, oh, if I express emotions, I come across as weak, I'm immediately kind of, stopped from doing that. So I'm going to suppress my emotions. What that does to my other partner is that they are going to start feeling emotionally isolated. They're going to start feeling not understood, and there's going to be a discrepancy or a distance between them. Moreover, if I am tuned to kind of, see emotions as a sign of weakness, I'll not be able to empathize with my partner. I'll not be able to deal with them when they are showing emotions. So that's going to complicate things further. So in general, it's going to be a very dissatisfying or an unequal kind of a relationship when I'm constantly thinking that no, emotions make me weak and I don't need to express them or address them.
Right. So, you know, men are often given the role of a protector, of a provider. So, do you think it makes them feel lesser or weaker and less in control when they are vulnerable?
Yes, so, considering that men equate strength in terms of, not expressing emotions, that, oh, I'm strong, even if I'm hurt, I don't express, I don't cry, I don't show my emotions. That dynamic kind of does play into the picture, that men will feel that they are losing control. And, what they'll start doing is probably start avoiding. So let's say if it's a conflict and I know my partner is going to be emotional, and I, for one, do not want to be emotional because that means it's a sign of weakness, then I'm going to kind of avoid conflict. And then that rift between the couple kind of increases further.
Or then you start blaming the partner, saying that, oh, you are
too emotional. Absolutely. That is one of the dynamics that can happen. Yes.
And how does upbringing and family setup come into picture when men, you know, refrain from expressing what they feel?
Yeah, so generally there is a theory which we call as a social learning theory. So you learn to process things, or you learn to kind of, express yourself in a way what you see around you. So if I'm not grown up with role models in my family, male role models who were comfortable expressing their emotions, then I'm not going to be comfortable expressing my emotions, because I equate that, that this is how things are supposed to be. On the other hand, our parents is the first marriage that we see we see growing up. So if I'm seeing that my father has a particular way of dealing with my mother, then, as a male, I'll probably be, more prone to dealing with emotions which my spouse experiences in a similar way, which might not always be healthy, but that's how I am attuned to, or I am trained to kind of deal with things.
That's very scary. As a mother, I find that very difficult to accept, because I have a son. He is very young, and while I do try to make him understand that the way your parents live is not the only way of life, but it's so difficult because he will see what he sees around him, and that is men refusing to be vulnerable. So tell me, how does this lack of vulnerability on part of men affect their relationship with their partner, wife or girlfriend or somebody
So
they're emotionally or sexually involved with?
yeah. So when you're emotionally or sexually involved with someone, but you're not being able to be emotionally vulnerable, your partner is very often going to feel misunderstood or unheard, right? So they might express certain desires, they might express certain discontentment in the relationship, but because you are either not having that emotional vocabulary to understand what you are feeling, or you're not, having the toolkit to kind of express that this is what I am feeling, you're going to very often suppress your emotions or deal with them in an unhealthy coping mechanism. So like we said, it might lead to them blaming their partners that, oh no, I don't struggle with emotions, you are too emotional, or you know what, I don't think there is a problem, you are the only one who thinks there is a problem. So very often it turns into a blame game, or the partner kind of using unhealthy coping mechanisms to deal with their emotions.
And which is why women often feel that they have to carry all the emotional load of a relationship because
Very true.
he'll not be able to do anything.
Very true. So women do end up kind of carrying the emotional load. So every time they feel that there is some, problem in the relationship, they are the ones usually picking it up or ones who are fighting for it. So often we see couples coming to us where the male partner is saying that, no, we don't have any problem in the relationship. And the woman has a list of problems that, he doesn't express, he doesn't understand, or he copes with just avoiding fights. So a lot of times we see that men are not equipped to even identify what the problem is, in terms of emotional intimacy.
And looking at it from the other side, how does vulnerability, especially on part of men, help make intimacy and sexual experiences better?
Your partner is going to be so much more happier if you're able to connect with them emotionally, right? Understand that being vulnerable is a human quality. So when you show that you are vulnerable, your partner sees the human side of you. Your partner does not need you to always kind of, have this strong masculine front where you are protecting them. You need to understand that your partner also needs to see your soft side, your vulnerable side. That makes the attraction more, that makes the intimacy better. Your partner feels heard and understood and is able to empathize with you much more.
This is making me think of all the other episodes that we've done, whether it was about dirty talking, or it was about using toys, or it was about monogamy and polygamous relationships. And how communication is so important, which you just cannot have unless you are willing to be open to each other. Right?
Yes, that vocabulary that we were talking about, right? So I would want to communicate, or maybe I want to tell you that I'm unhappy, but I don't know how to say it because I have not been taught the emotional vocabulary for it.
Yeah.
So yes, it does kind of impact all of the other things in a relationship.
So tell me something, how are men different in terms of their vulnerability when it comes to their friendships versus their romantic relationship?
So I think they have a higher guard when it comes to being vulnerable in romantic relationships, because in friendships they might see that as it's a equal footing, that okay, I don't need to kind of protect the other person.
It's so unfair.
It is unfair. So they might joke around or have a little bit of banter about their relationship, their emotions in their friendships. But when it comes to relationships, most men traditionally think that, oh no, I have to be the stronger one, I have to be the protector, and that's why I'm not going to kind of let my guard down or show my emotional vulnerability.
So you've said when men refuse to be vulnerable, it is reflecting in their relationships in a very toxic manner, refusing to talk, becoming the alpha in a very unhealthy manner. What are the other coping mechanisms that they resort to?
So the commonest one that we see is substance use, and this is not just in the context of relationships, but when I don't deal with my emotions in a healthy way, I'm going to kind of try and numb them. So alcohol or other drugs, they really become like a crutch which I use to kind of deal with my emotions. Very often when we talk in context of relationships, what happens is I start resenting my partner because I can't express my emotions, and I want to live in denial that there is a problem actually, because I can't solve that conflict. So what I'm going to do is deny my reality and actually look for emotional support somewhere else. That leads to infidelity in couples.
Correct.
Right? So cheating or actually having an extramarital affair when your partner is actually trying to reach out to you for emotional connect. I just don't want to deal with that, so I'm going to be comfortable somewhere else. So these are the two common ways we see that, you know, men kind of use unhealthy coping mechanisms when it comes to their emotions and vulnerability in relationships.
So imagine a woman who's trying to be open and trying to fix a relationship which is not working for her. And then she finds out that while she's trying to fix it, he's fixing it somewhere else.
Yeah, and he's fixing it in some unhealthy way, which is not actually getting her the solution.
Why do men only show vulnerability when it is a moment of crisis?
Well, when it's a crisis, it's like, you know, the dam overflowing, right? So the emotions are really high at that time, and the usual defenses that I have. So, you know, the way I cope with my emotions in a usual way is not enough. So those emotions are overflowing. What also commonly happens is that whenever there are these small instances where I'm feeling strong emotions in my daily life, I don't address them. I brush them under the carpet. And after a point, it becomes just too much to suppress. So it's like, you know, the dust is going to overflow outside the carpet. So then it becomes more visible. So that's why we see that, you know, when it's a crisis situation, men, whether they like it or not, will kind of sometimes have a meltdown, and you will see those emotions. And most partners do encourage men that, okay, you know, now I see the emotional side of you, please don't go back. But unless they're actually willing to do that, they're going to go back into their shell and start coping with it in an unhealthy way again.
So, you know, I always say that, you know, we've been very unfair to the men in our society. We haven't taught them how to express or how to share what they're feeling. So, Dr. Mansi, please help us. Tell us a few small steps that men can take to be more vulnerable, be more open, and cope better with whatever is happening in their life.
So the first thing that you need to do is not look at vulnerability as a sign of weakness, right? That's the first conditioning that we need to break, that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's a human quality. We all have emotions, and it's okay for you to feel those emotions. Second thing is build up on your emotional vocabulary. So often we see that I don't know how to express what I am feeling. So I'm just feeling sad. But, you know, there's such a big range. So I'm sad, I'm upset, I'm frustrated. So there's such a range of emotions. So that kind of helps you understand what I am feeling and why I am feeling. And third is to actually get in touch with your emotions, sitting down with them. So, you know, many a times we see that, you know, I have this discomfort or agitation, but I don't know why I am feeling that. So that's the moment we say that, okay, you sit down and you think what is happening, what are you feeling, and why are you feeling that. So that allows you to build up that emotional bandwidth to kind of, you know, be able to express.
This sounds like a very self-help manual. But what can women, girlfriends, wives, partners do to help men?
So first, break your own conditioning. When you kind of, you know, are talking to your partner, do kind of let them know that it's okay for them to express emotions. Don't always expect this alpha macho man that, you know, no, they don't allow emotions to kind of surface. Second thing would be to not to criticize. So let's say, you know, when they are being vulnerable, allow them to express that. And thirdly, don't use their vulnerability against them. Very often we see that in couples, you know, that your partners had a vulnerable moment, an emotional moment with you, but you tend to use it against them in the next fight. That's going to stop them from ever expressing again, right? So don't use that. Don't be, you know, kind of
You know, this
partner.
reminds me, I used to have a colleague, and she was dating her. He went on to become her husband then. And, you know, he was very expressive. Like, you know, he would cry when they would fight, and he would say that I can't take it when we fight. And, you know, she was one of the nicest girls I knew. But every time they would fight, she would come back to us and she would say, you know, while everything else is great, I don't want to see him crying. And not because he would be hurt, obviously it would affect her, but, you know, she would say that I can't see a man crying because in our family I never saw that happening.
Yeah, so that's what, no? So women also have their own conditioning. But you need to understand that here we are talking about just one emotion, right? So we are talking about not liking a man who is crying. But then are you okay with other emotions? Because we're talking about the emotional range that men need to be aware of and expressive. And if you're not okay with one, then you need to really understand why is it that you're not okay with one. So like you said, in your friend's case, she was aware that she's probably never seen that happen.
Correct.
So just because you've not seen it happen does not mean that it's not okay or unhealthy.
Right. So this sounds like a lot of things need to be unlearned. So I'm guessing therapy will help here.
Yes, therapy, talking, right? You know, you can also have your peer support. So unless it's actually an ongoing problem that you are having in your relationship, many people would not think of therapy, and that's fine, right? But the kind of people you surround yourself with, or when you actually come across something new, being a little open-minded. So let's say you see a post where it talks about, you know, men expressing their emotions, or an article where you see where it's written about men expressing their emotions, being a little open, thinking about it, that can also help. You need not always go to therapy for everything.
So we spoke about Dio, who's there behind the camera, and I was telling you, how he is one of the most expressive boys I've come across. Do you think it's a generation thing? Is Gen Z a little more expressive, or does the stigma still sort of plague the society?
So the younger generation is definitely much more aware of their emotions and they're not afraid of actually expressing. That is a cultural change that we are seeing and hoping that it continues definitely.
And how do we redefine masculinity? How do we go from stoic and alpha to, open-hearted and expressing more freely men in the society?
By kind of associating masculinity with being emotionally happy instead of just being strong, so that connection that needs to be broken in most of our minds, not just men, even for women, that we see men as the stronger one or the gender which does not cry or does not express. So that's something that we need to unlearn and accept that men are also human, they also have their emotions and they're also allowed to express their emotions.
And I think at the end of the day, we just need to remember that if you had to pick a partner who was alpha and stoic and manly all the time versus somebody who was genuinely happy and making an effort to keep you genuinely happy, who would you go for? If you have any questions about men and vulnerability, do let us know in the comment section. And you can also DM us. You can send us a WhatsApp. Our number is 9833943943. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with everybody, because you know what? Men deserve to live a fuller life. They're living a very hollow life at this point of time.
94.3 Radio 1.